Hi, welcome back to the Coding Genius, and in this series we are going to work on full stack Todo app. And for creating APIs we will use nodejs and Mongodb as a database, and we will use Flutter on our front end site for our apps. So please like, share my videos and subscribe my channel for upcoming videos. So first of all, we need to set up our Node.js. So come to Node.js website and download this Node.js version. And after finishing this download, then go to and install this Node.js. So actually, I have already set up this Node.js. So I'm not going to repeat it again. And after completing your setup, now come to your command prompt, and here you can check it is successfully set up in your system or not. You will come to command prompt and write node space hyphen version, and it will tell you your current node.js version. And there is another thing, that is npm. And npm is basically node package manager. uh, Basically it will help you to install multiple packages that you can use in your node.js project. And it will npm.version will help you to tell you it's actually npm version. And there is one more thing, that is I think so it is necessary, and that is like n nvm. Okay, so this is basically node version manager, like our FVM in Flutter. Okay, we can manage our Node.js versions using this NVM. Okay, so this is for these npm, NVM, and Node. So come to your Visual Studio Code and create a folder, empty folder. I have created an empty folder to do API, and here you can see it is empty. And first of all we will initialize. Let me clear it. Okay, so first of all we will write npm init. We will initialize our node.js into for creating our APIs. So write npm init, and it will ask you some questions like package name. I will when if we click on enter, then it will take Todo API as a package name. And for right now, for learning purpose, I'm just using this its default data, like package name will be Todo API and version will be 1.0.0. Description will be empty. Entry point will be index.js, that is common. And if we click on enter, then it will ask for test commands. I will click on enter. Then get repository, I will click on enter. Keywords, enter license. Here you can add your licenses, different licenses. Okay, and so after that it will show you a package.json, like JSON format, name, version, main scripts. And it will ask you a question, is this okay? I will write yes and click on enter. Okay, it will set up package.json file in your left side. And I will clear this screen. And if we come to this package.json, then here you can see it will show you a text like name, version. Name is Todo API, version is 1.0.0, main is index.js. You can also update these things here. In script types, you can add multiple steps, multiple scripts that will help you in your development phase. Okay, and right now these are the things for package.json. And when we install multiple packages, then those dependencies will be also added to this package.json file, and I will cover it later. Let me close this, and for now we will create a file index. index.js, because in our package.json we have declared our main file is index.json. So we will create a file index.json. So basically, what is Node.js? Node.js is a runtime environment, a runtime environment, and that help us to create APIs and for our JavaScript. Basically, JavaScript don't create backends, so that's why we use Node.js to create our APIs. And Node.js is actually not a framework and not a language. It is actually a runtime environment that runs on JavaScript. Okay, V8 engine. So let me show you console.log. We will print like testing. Now if we come to our terminal, and if we write node space index.js, then it will print testing. Okay, and if I update this text and if we rerun this command, then it will show us learning node. Okay, so this is for this video. Hi, welcome back to the Coding Genius, and in this video we are going to work on some basic routes, and we will create our basic server. So first of all, I will show you one more thing. Let's suppose if I change it here, then I need to run a command node index.js to reflect these changes, and every time I need to run this command. But there is a package, and that when we install that, then we don't need to run the node index.js command again and again, and that package is nodemon. Let's come to this npm packages, and this is the nodemon package. Okay, so basically this is the package that will help us to run the command only one time. So here you can see this is the installation process, and if you install it globally, then you don't need to install it in your other projects again and again. So that's why I'm going to install it globally. And if I click on this, now this is npm install .g and nodemon. This is installing our package globally. If you want to install it in this particular package, then just remove this fng and it will install this package for your this project. Now come to this package.json file, and here you can see, let me show you. Okay, so basically it is installed globally, so that's why it's not showing here. Okay, and let me show you how it will work. And for make it work, now we run this command nodemon index.js. Okay, now if we, here you can see, as I change this file, then it's printing here. Let me update this. Okay, here you can see nodemon package is working, node package is work wo is. So basically this is working side by side. And if you want to close this, then in windows you will press Ctrl C, and it will close this. Okay, if I remove this, then it will not work. Okay, so now we will create our basic server, and for that we will install a new package, and that is Express. And Express is basically Node.js framework that will help us in different routings and create app. So if we come to your Chrome and search Express, then here you can see Node.js web application framework, and it provides us multiple things like APIs quickly. We can create APIs quickly, make performance better, and we can use middlewares. And if we come to this get started, then there is the installation process for this. Okay, so let me show you how we will install it. Now come to your terminal and let me clear this, and now write npm install express. Okay, now if we click on enter, then let me open this package.json file. It will be reflected here as well. Here you can see new dependency is added, and that is express. And now come to this index.js file, and first of all we will import that express, and express is equal to require. This is the format for importing packages in Node.js, and we will create an app using our express. Okay, so this is setup. Our express is set up, and now we will create some basic uh, routing and pages like app.get. Okay, and if we don't provide any name here, then it will be our home page, and it requires two more things. One is request and other is response, and these are basically this req. I need to make it whole text. So request is basically when we will pass user data or to do data from our Flutter app, then this request basically will provide that data to our API. And response is when we will send our response from API to Flutter, then it will help. Okay, so right now I am calling this response dot send, and here we will print home page. Okay, so this is our basic get API call, and now just copy this, and I will add some more pages, and here I will name it about page, and I will give it a name like help, and give it a name help page. Okay, now we need to run our local server, and for that app.listen, and we will pass a port here. And right now for testing I am passing 5000. Now come to your terminal and run that command nodemon index.js. Okay, now if we come to your, and I will pass localhost 5000, and if we click on enter, then here you can see our home page is printed. Now if I add a routing like about and click on enter, here you can see about page is printed. Now the last one is help, and if we click on enter, here you can see help page is printed. Okay, so this is for this video, and I will see you in next video. Hi, welcome back to the Coding Genius, and in this video we are basically learn about MongoDB and how we can create different APIs in Node.js. So first of all, I will show you my package.json because I have installed two new packages, that is .env and Mongoose. And for that, uh, let me show you. Okay, so you will write npm install mongoose and .env. Okay, basically that mongoose package will help us to connect our node.js code to our MongoDB database, and .env package is for our .env files. Okay, so if we click on enter, then it will install these packages. By default I have already installed these packages, so it's not installing again. Okay, now the other thing is, first of all, come to MongoDB, and here if you click on its first link, then it will ask you start free. Now if you click on this start free button, then it will ask you to register your account. You can create your account using Google and your email. I have already created my account and I'm not doing it again. So this will be the dashboard after creating your account, and by clicking on this you can create new project. Click on this new project button and it will ask you project name. I will give it a to do. Okay, it will be to do or like to do project. Okay, then click on just next, and here you can add members and set their permissions. I'm not adding any member. Then click on create project. It will create a project in your MongoDB dashboard. Here you can see. Okay, now we need to create a cluster, and click on this create button. Okay, and for that we will use this free plan, and basically it will provide us 5 512 MB storage, shared RAM and CPU will be shared. Okay, basically we are testing, that's why we are using this free plan. And create deployment. Okay, then it will ask you about this captcha. It will take some time to create your cluster. And if you want to learn about MongoDB, then you can go to its docs, MongoDB documentation, and here you can learn about its documentation. If we click on this node.js, and okay, these are the documentation, and here you can learn from here. Now come to our dashboard. then it will create then it will show you this pop-up, and here you can add username and password. Okay, just copy this password and create database user, then choose a connection method, and it will show you multiple options. And for now we are basically working on node.js, that's why we will click this option and just click on done. Okay, it will take some time, and after that it will show you a URL basically that help us to connect our node.js project to your MongoDB database. It will take some time. And one more thing, go to this network access tab, and when you click on this network access tab, it will show a button add IP address. Then just click on that add IP address and it will show a pop-up, and it will ask you a temporary IP address. Uh, then you click as you click on that button, then it will add IP address, and it will be like 0.0.0.0. Okay, so this will be the IP address when you click on that temporary IP address, or uh, its message will be like it will be like you can access from anywhere, that will be its message. And when you click on that button, it will create automatically IP address. Okay, so our cluster is created. Now come to this get connection string, and first of all come to your Visual Studio and create .env file, and you will create like, just click on this area, and if we click on this .env, okay, so it will automatically create .env file. Now come to this .env file, and first I will paste my password that I have copied. Okay, now this is the URL that will help us to connect our database to our node.js. Click on done, then come to your Visual Studio Code and paste it here like that, and just copy this password, and here you can see TB password. Replace your password here. Okay, so our URL is set up in .env file. Okay, now I think this is the work for our MongoDB dashboard. Now we will see how we can use, how we will create different APIs and its model. I have created different models. One is config. So first of all, come to this config and db.js. If you come to this db.js, here you can see actually I have written a code for our connection to our DB. This will handle the connection to our database. Okay, so first of all I have import this mongoose, and there is a function connect DB. This will be an async function, and in async function we have used this mongoose.connect and process env.mongo URI, and we will pass that env URI to this db.js. Okay, then it will connect to our database, and here it will print MongoDB is connected and your host is this. Otherwise, in case of error, it will tell us that error has occurred, and basically that is in our config db file. Now we need to use this in our index.js file or other files. That's why we will export it from here, and this is the syntax from exporting anything that you want to use in your other files. Okay, so module.export is equal to connectdb, that is the function name that we will want to export. And in index.js file, I will show you how you can import and use that connectdb. Okay, so this is for config file. Now we will see our models. Come to this models folder, and here I have created a to do model.js file, and in this file I have written a schema for our MongoDB, and that will help us to store our data. This is Mongo's schema, and then after creating schema I have converted it to model. Okay, let me this is, first of all I have import Mongos, then created a new instance to do schema and Mongos dot schema, and in schema I have passed a title, and its type is string, and it is required and true. Okay, then I have created an body, and its type is string and required true. If you want to change these required or types, you can also change it. Like, I don't need to make it required. Okay, if you want to make it required, then write down here required and it will be true. Okay, then I have created an other instance that is completed, and its type is boolean, and by default it will be false. Okay, so actually this is the schema. This will be the you can call it key value pairs. Okay, and this is the option for our schema. If we make timestamp to true, then basically it will create two times, create it and update it automatically. When you will create to do, then created at and updated at time will automatically created. Okay, so this is for schema, and then we have used that schema to create our model. Okay, and I have passed a model name that is to do, and its schema is this that I have already created. And MongoDB basically provide collection names like they will get from this to do. My model name is to do, then MongoDB will make a collection from to do like that, like it will choose this to do and make it pluralize. It means it will put an S at the end of the to do and make it small. So this will be the collection name. This will be the collection name in our MongoDB. Okay, and this will be its model, and there will be its different data. And I have also export this to do to use in our different folders. Okay, so this is for model.js, and now come to our controllers, and here I have created a controller. Okay, so there are the APIs that I have created here. Okay, so here you can see I have require a models to do model. If you come to this model, then here you can see I have export it like to do, and if you come to this to do controller, this will the name will be same. Here is to do, and if you come to do model, then here you can see it is to do. So this name will be same, otherwise it will give you an error. And here you can see I have import it like that from to do model. and these are our APIs like get to dos. It will get all to dos, and create to do will create to do, in this for update to do and this for delete to do. And I have also export these for our methods or APIs to use in our other files. Okay, so first one is get to do's. Let me minimize this, and if I click on this, okay, so here you can see this is our, let me, okay, here you can see this is our basic structure that I have already shown you in our last video, that how we can create our basic API. Okay, so this is our basic structure, and here I have write this code try catch, and in try catch uh, to do is equal to await to do dot find. Okay, so this to do is that is coming from our to do model. Now is a document in our MongoDB database, and this find method is from our Mongos or MongoDB. Okay, this find method will fetch all the data that is available in our database and assign to this to do's. Okay, and then this is the response dot status is 200. It means our API is working successfully. Its response is 200, and its JSON is to do's. Okay, so it will return in JSON format. Okay, if you come to this to do model, here you can see basically this is a JSON format. This schema is basically JSON format. Okay, so it will return our to do's as a list, but in JSON format. There will be a list, and in list there will be multiple instances of to do, that will contain title, body, created at, updated at, ID, and completed. And if it is through an error, then status will be 500. It means our API is not working, and it will send a message, error message, and it will also be in JSON format. So this is for get to do's, and other one is create to do. If you want to create to do, then here you can see to do is equal to new to do. This is the model, and here I have passed title and request dot body dot title. So basically this request req, this is request and dot body. So when we will work on Flutter site, we will provide title body in our API data field, so that we will get using this required dot body dot title. Okay, then request dot body, this is for our request body, and this is body for our to do model. Okay, and then third one is completed, request dot body dot completed. If it is true, then it's true, otherwise it will check it's false. Okay, by default, basically by default we make it by default false, so that's why. And after creating this to do, then we need to save this to our MongoDB database. Then we will call to do dot save. This save method is coming from our mongoose package, that will help to create that to do in our MongoDB database. And then we have called this response dot status is 201 dot json save to do. It means 201 201 is mean we have successfully created our to do, and this is its JSON file. Now the third one is update to do. If you want to update to do, and here you can see find by ID and update. So this method is also coming from Mongo's package, and it requires some parameters like request.params.id. Okay, so if you come to this, here you can see I have passed this request.body, and here if you focus on request.params, so params are different thing and body is different thing, and I will uh, tell you these differences when we will work on Flutter side, so you will understand it. Okay, right now request.params.id, so we want to update a to do whose id is this and its body. It means we want to update, so this is its body and this is the id. Okay, now this is for our mongoose and we have passed new. It's true, run validators, it will true, it will run validators that it is exist, this id is exist or not. Okay, if update to do, then if it's not exists, then it will throw an error to do not found. Okay, otherwise it will return 200 and it will return a json to json to do. Okay, now the last one is delete to do, and here the method is find by id and delete. We have passed an id that we want to delete, and here it will check if that to do is not exist, then it will throw an error to do not found. Its status code will be 404, otherwise status code will be 200, and it will send a message to do delete. You can also change the status according to your requirements, like I can add 100, but that is common 200. Okay, now these are for our four apis, and here I have export these four apis methods. Okay, now we need to create our apis actually, and that is come to this routes. If you come to this routes folder, then here you can see I have require an express, and I have required these four different methods, that is get to do, create to do, update to do, delete to do from our to do controller. If you come to this to do controller, here you can see these names, and these names are actually same. If they are different, then it will throw an error. Okay, and I have created a router, and that is coming from our express framework. Okay, so here express is working, express.router, and we will use this router to make our apis. Like if we want to get api, so this is its routing, and this method will trigger get to do's, and in to do controller we have seen that get to do's basically fetch all to do's that are present in our database. Okay, and router dot post, and this post method will help us to create a new to do, and this router dot put and input, here you can see actually this is the param. Okay, when we will pass id in our url, so that will be param, and when we pass data in our body, and that will be its body. Okay, and here I have passed a update to do, and for delete I have passed an id and the to do function, and I have also export these router as well. So this is for to do's routes. Now our main file, that is index.json file. Okay, now this was the previous code, and we don't need, let me clear all the empty strings. Okay, So in this code, I have defined some other methods, some other files like this one, the previous one, express. This is for our .env file. This is for our connect.db, and that is coming from config.db.js that we have also declared here. Okay, and that to do routes that is coming from our routes to do routes.json from this folder. And if we come to this to do routes, then here you can see module.export router. Okay, now here I have called this .env.config for configuration setup, and this connect db that is coming from our db.json file here. So as our server run, then it will first configure our .env file, and then it will call that our database connection method. And if we come to this connect db method that is in db.json file, so we have already uh, configured our .env file, then it will get URI from that and it will connect our server to MongoDB. Then I have created an app using express.json, that is the previous one, and here you can see I have used app.use express.json. So it means it will accept data in JSON and return data in JSON. So this is for that. And app.use. So and here I have provided API to do's, and that is to do routes. So this is our like uh, basic URL, and then we can call these different routes for creating, getting, updating, and deleting APIs. Then this is for our port. That is, if that is not in our env file, then it will by default use 5000 and app.listen port, and this will call this method. Okay, so this is for whole code. And for testing purpose, come to, if you don't have Postman, then just go to new tab and install Postman. Okay, and after installing that, you can use it free. Here it is also showing its plan and pricing, but you can also use it free. Okay, and I have already downloaded this Postman. Now come to, first of all, come to this terminal, make it clear, and now we will run node mon index.js. It will take some time, and then here you can see server running on port 5000, and here you can see MongoDB is connected, and this is the host name. Now if we, let me show you db.js, here you can see MongoDB connected, and this is the host name. Okay, now come to your Postman, and first one is we will create our APIs. I have tested this. Let me make it more, let me, give me a minute. Okay, now this will be its title, and let me here you can see this is our local host 5000. And if we come to this, and if we come to index.js file, here you can see API to do. So this is our by default basic URL that we will use, and then API to do's. Okay, and if we call this, so this it means by default it will and this is our postman post method. And if you come to our routes to do routes, then here you can see if it is post and there is no name, then it will call this create to do. Okay, and in our body I have created a JSON like title, body, and completed. It is false. Now, if I send this, then here you can see our status is 201 created, and this is the title, body completed, and this is the ID that is generated by default and created at updated at. That is because of our timestamp. If we come to this again, then let me show you this create to do. Let me Okay, if you come to this create to do, here you can see 201. In Postman it is showing 201 or it's created. Now come to your database and let me show you. If you come to this database, it will take some time, and if you come to this browse collections, then it will. Okay, so our to dos, here you can see it is created here. Okay, so this is our to dos collection name that I have shown you how MongoDB actually use your model name to create a collection name. Okay, so and this test is basically our database name. Okay, here you can see this our model is created. Now come to this again, and okay, if we send this again, then it is 201. Okay, now I will refresh this. It will take some time, and here you can see buy fruits I need apple. So this is basically created. Now come to this postman, and the other method is our get method, and here it will basically get all the to-dos that is in our database. Now click on this send. This is get method. Okay, get API call, and if you come to this, here you can see our two to-dos are fetch successfully, buy groceries and buy fruits. Okay, now the third one is put API call, and in put API call basically we will update our to do. So this one for our by default API call, and now we want to update our buy groceries and make it true. Let me show you. And first of all we come to its database, and we need its ID, and that is this one. Just copy it, come to this, and here you can see. So basically when you add this ID here, so it will be like param, you can call it param, and this will be its body. Okay, request dot param means this the params that you will add in actual URL, and request dot body is the data that you will provide in its body. Okay, so this is the difference between request dot params and request dot body. Okay, so if you come to this database, here you can see it is by default false, and now I have make it true, and if we click on this send, okay, so here you can see it is true, and its status is 200. And if you come to this database, if we refresh this, then it will show you that. Let me show you. Okay, oh, here you can see buy groceries, this is true, it means it's working. Now the other one is delete, and if you want to delete any to do, here you will pass its ID, and I am passing it's the same ID. And if you click on this send, here you can see message to do deleted. And if you come to this again and refresh this, okay, our one to do is deleted successfully. Now the last one is our for actually getting one to do. Okay, and if I pass its id, so actually there is one, and if you pass it id, so this will, okay, not found. Yeah, actually we didn't work on this api, that's why it's not fetching. Okay, and so this is for our code. And if you want to add that api request, like we want to get that particular api, then you will come to your code. There you will create an other code like uh, get single file, and here you will call it like find by id, and here you will pass request dot params dot id. Okay, and this will help you to get that single to do. Okay, so you can do it by your own. So this will be your task, and this is for this video. And I will show you in next video that how we can connect our Flutter to our nodejs server and do these all apis call from our Flutter site. Hi, welcome back to the Coding Genius, and in this part we will connect our Node.js APIs to our Flutter site. And first of all, you need to create a brand new project, and I have already created full stack to do name project, and I have selected Flutter version. Let me show you 3.24.0, and in pubspec.yaml file I have added this http package latest version, and this is for pubspec.yaml. And if you come to this main.dot file, here you can see I have created an home screen, and there are different folders like models, screens, and services. So first of all, we will go to this to do model, and here you can see these are its params like id, title, body, and completed. Okay, and this is from json and to json. And if we come to this service, then here you can see I will show you how you can get this url later. First of all, we will let me minimize these functions. Okay, this is get to do's. Okay, then I have called and get request to our to do api, and that for getting to do's, that was just like uh, backslash. Okay, and here you can see I have passed it already. If we are getting all to do's, then we will just call a get method and pass a url. Then if it's status code at 200, then we will decode that json response, and it will give us a list of dynamic, and then we will convert that list into our to do list. Otherwise, if we get an error, then it will throw an exception. Okay, so this is for get to do's. And if you want to get to do by id, then you can use this. Our base url will be same, but here we will pass an id as a request param. And if its status code is 200, then we will get a response and decode that response and then convert it into todo.formJSON to do model. The other three methods are create to do, and here we will pass a create to do model. And in http post method we will pass base url, and in headers we will pass content type application json. It means in json format we want to post that body. Okay, and here you can see I have passed that to do as a to json into body params of this post method, and first I have encoded that as well. Okay, if its status code doesn't equal to 201, then it will throw an exception. Otherwise, you can return a boolean or anything, so that our to show a user that your to do is successfully created. Other method is update to do, and here in put method of http i have used that base url and backslash id, and this is as a request params. And we have already seen how we can pass an id of the uh, to do to update or delete in previous video using Postman. So this is the thing that we will use base url and backslash id. Okay, now this is the header, and in body I have encoded our to do, and first I have converted it into to do.to.json. Okay, then the last method is delete to do, and here is also the same thing, and here I have called http delete method, and I have passed uri.parser base URL with ID, and this is the ID that to do we want to delete. Okay, so all these methods for our to do service, and these are all the API calls that we have already created and tested using Postman in our previous video. Okay, so let me show you these screens. First one is home screen. If you come to this, then you will see I have created a stateful widget, and here I have initialized a to-do service, and there is a future list of to-do, and that has I have used a late keyword. It means by default it is not initialized. And in its state method I have get all the to-dos and assign these to-dos to this to-dos instance. Okay, if we come to this, here you can see this is http get API call, and it will get a whole list of to-dos that are present in your MongoDB. Then it will assign to to-dos to-dos instance. Okay, then there is a toggle complete method, and actually this is for completing our task. Okay, so this will create a to do instance, and then we will call this to do service dot update to do, and I have passed this to do id and update to do. After updating its status, then we will refresh our UI, and it will show that our to do is successfully completed. Okay, so this is for init state and toggle completed. Now come to build method, and here I have used scaffold, and there is an app bar to do list, and then I have called future builder list of to do, and in future I have passed that to do's. Here you can see this is the instance that we have assigned an init state. Now we are using it in our future builder. Okay, now there is a build its builder. We will handle our snapshot different scenarios, like if it is in waiting, then we will show circular progress indicator. If it is an error, then we will show error in center of the screen. And if its data is not if data is empty, then we will show no data available, no to-dos available. And in else statement, we will fetch all the data and assign to-dos. And here I have used list view builder to show our data in list view. And here I have added length of to-dos to this item count. And then its item builder, I have get a single to-do using index from our to-dos list. So it will get one by one all to-dos. And then I have used this list tile, and in list tile I have used this single to do to show our data. Like in its title, it will show to do title, and in its subtitle, to do dot body is assigned. And then there are two other params like trailing, and in trailing I have created an row. And there are two different widgets. One is checkbox, and actually it is for it will tell us that our to do is completed or not. If it is checked, it means it is completed, and if it is not checked, then the to do is not completed. Okay, and when you will change its status, then it will called toggle completed, and it will pass that to do that we have get from our to do's list using index. And this toggle method will be triggered. And the other widget is icon button, and it is for delete icon. And on pressed, we will call our to do service dot delete to do. And here we will pass to do id. Okay, because in our delete to do we need just an id of to do that we want to delete. And it's then method, and if it is successfully deleted, then in its then method I have called this set state to update our UI. And in set state, here you can see to do service dot get to do, so it will get to do's again. This is for demo purpose, that why I'm using this set state. And you can also use different state managements, it is up to you. And if we come to this on tab of this list view, then it will move to us to update to do screen. And I have passed to do as a param to this update to do screen. And in its then method we will update our UI as well. And our last widget is floating action button of home screen. And here you can see I have called add to do screen uh, screen widget. And here we will create our new to do. Let me show you these one by one. First is our add to do screen, and other one is update to do screen. Let me show you add to do screen first. If we come to this, then here I have created two text editing controllers. First one is for title and other is for body. And I have initialized to do service for adding our to do in our Mongodb using that service, because we have created API call in this to do service. Okay, so here is an app bar add to do, and its body I have add some paddings. And in column there is first text field and other text field. Then there is some height gap between these widgets and our button widget. And in elevated button on pressed, so I have created a Todo instance. Its ID will be by default empty because we don't know its ID right now. And when we create our Todo in our Mongo's DB, then it will assign ID automatically. Okay, so I have used that controllers to get its title and body, and by default our completed is false. And here you can see I have called that to do service dot create to do, and I have passed this to do, and in its done method I will move back to our home screen. Okay, and there is a text add to do, so this is for add to do screen, and our last screen is update to do screen. And here I have passed this created this to do as a param, and I have initialized these text editing controllers and to do service, and assign uh, and to assign these controllers values I have used constructor, and in constructor I have created new text controllers and assigned text values here. Okay. And in its build method, if we come, there is the same code like add to do, and there is a little bit difference. As you can see, I have used these two text fields, and there is an elevated button, and in on pressed, as you can see, I have created an update to do instance, and here we have passed an ID because this time we know the ID of the to do that we are going to update, and that's why I have passed this ID. And then I have passed title and body, and complete status we will get it from to do as well. And then I have called this to do service update method, and here I have passed to do dot id and a new to do. Okay, and after that it will call navigator dot pop context, and it will move back to our home screen. So this is for Flutter side. And to run this code with our nodejs API and MongoDB database, first of all come to your MongoDB database, and in your network access come to this. There will be no IP address, just click on add IP address, and this pop-up will be visible and allow access from anywhere. Click this button and just click on confirm, so it will add a by default IP address in your Mongos. Okay, our IP address is added in our network access. Here you can see I have come into security, and in network access here I have added an IP address. Okay, and another thing is ngrok. This is basically convert our local host. It will show our local host to internet so that we can connect our different devices. Come to this ngrok and download, and if you come to this, okay, there are different methods you can download and set up. Basically I have Windows, and if I come to this Windows, then I have downloaded a zip file using 64-bit because my computer is 64-bit. You can download according to yours, and just click on this download. It will download a setup. Okay, then other thing is you will need to add this authentication token, and for that first of all you need to create a new account. Click on this sign up button. You will create a new account, then get an auth token from your dashboard and run this command in your terminal, and here you will put your auth token. Okay, so it will connect your ngrok with your dashboard. And so this is for Windows setup. And if you come to this Mac was, here you can see there also its zip files. You can download it from here, then unzip ngrok from the terminal, and you can also add an auth token to connect it. I have also downloaded my ngrok, and here you can see it is visible to me here. If I click on this, so this is my ngrok, and if I come to my code, here you can see this is our APIs that we have built in our previous video. And if I come to its terminal, first of all I need to run this terminal, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so make it clear, and I will call node index.js. Okay, server running on port 5000 and our MongoDB is connected. Okay, now come to your ngrok, and here we will write ngrok and http, and because our local host is running on 5000, then we will pass 5000 here. And if we click on enter, then after some time it will show you a forwarding, and this is the URL. Okay, so and if you come to here, you can see localhost 5000. So instead of this localhost 5000, we can use this URL in our, just copy this and come to your Flutter code and go to this to do service, and here you can see I will pass this URL here, and backslash API slash todos. This is our by default API. APIs. Let me show you. If we come to this index.js, so here you can see I have passed this route as a by default route. Now come to your Android Studio and just run your app, and let me show you. Okay, our app is running, and here you can see node to dos available. And if you come to this ngrok terminal, here you can see this is our get API to dos is called, and its status is 200 and okay. And if you come to this, okay, it's not giving any error here. And let me show you, in our database there is no to do available right now, and it is by default empty. If I come to this and to do's, here you can see there is no data. Now we will add some to do's, like if we click on this button, just add title, testing title, testing body. If I click this add to do, then okay, it is working successfully. Now come to and refresh this. Okay, here it is also visible. Title is testing title, body is testing body, and completed is false. And these created at and updated at is created by default, and this is the ID. And if we come to this ngrok terminal, here you can see our post method is called 201 created, and a get API to do is called to get our to do's to show in our home screen. Okay, so this is now come to again this screen, and if we click on this, here you can see we can, if you come to this ngrok, okay, and I will call this value Flutter app working with APIs. And if I update this to do, then here you can see it is updated. And if we come to ngrok, here you can see it is called a post API 201 created, and actually it is called this API port API. Okay, and this was the our to do ID. And if I come to this database, here you can see this is the ID. Okay, that is visible in our ngrok terminal. Okay, and if we come to this database, and by default title and body is this, if we refresh this, then our to do data will be updated. Here you can see Flutter app working with APIs. Okay, now we will work on complete. Complete is false, and if I click on this check button, then here you can see now it is checked. And if we come to ngrok, then here you can see it is also called that put API to update our to-do status to make it completed. Now come to this database again and refresh this. Okay, now completed is true. It means it's working fine. Okay, now we will add second to do, add this to do, and now we will delete this to do as well. Okay, let me refresh this. Okay, now come to our app and just click on this delete button, then it will delete our to do and update our home screen. Now if we come to database and refresh, then here you can see our second to do is deleted successfully. Okay, so it means our APIs and Flutter app is working fine, and I have make this API make this UI as simple, so you can update its UI and functionality, and you can also use and state management according to your requirements. It is up to you. And I have actually I have shown you how you can create APIs using nodejs, mongodb, and how you can integrate with your Flutter app. Okay, so this is for this series.